Hey guys! Welcome to the channel. It's Wallpaper Week once again. This month is themed after a more unfamiliar musical to most people. It's Kiss Me Kate. A play that got turned into a musical in a musical. You'll understand later. So let's get into it. When I was planning my wallpapers at the start of the year, the musical for November was supposed to be The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Because, of course, Stephanie J. Block is my favorite Broadway actor. But looking around for sets I could make a wallpaper for was really hard, and I couldn't find one that isn't another dining room. See April, June, September, and October. Those are all food-eating places. So I started looking through my list of musicals and I saw Kiss Me Kate. I looked around on Google and I found the backstage/gate area. It would give me enough ideas of what's in the back lot to make room for my icons. Honestly, would have rather had the actual backstage area that they have in the musical, because it was like a 2-story stair thingy, but I couldn't find any reference for those. Another option was from the opening of the musical in the musical, with a backdrop listing all the places they go to. Just a quick background if you don't know Kiss Me Kate and if you're getting confused by all this musical in a musical stuff. It's about a group of people putting on a show of Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew that is a musical. The show shifts between them on stage and backstage, so you get the story of the characters and also the Taming of the Shrew. So that's why we're in the backlot design. I usually preset my floors because I know how wide I have to make the floor section, and it's not something I have to put much effort into because it's going to be covered by the dock anyway. It's just the size of the dock and I just make it a solid color to match the floor. I was swamped with schoolwork, so I didn't do this as far advanced as I normally do, and I only decided on the musical about 2 days before making the wallpaper, so I didn't really have much of a clue on what to do. So I just started making the wallpaper without much thought. It's another more zoomed in photo instead of the whole set. I thought that having the gate take up half the screen was a good move for scaling, but also saving time. I decided on a plank texture for the gate, but I didn't really do the rest of the buildings. For one, it was gonna take too much time to make the bricks accurate to the size of the buildings. 2, it would make the building look too messy because of all the doors it's gonna have. And 3, I was gonna use the plain color of the buildings as another place to put my camouflage icons. To those of you who are new, camouflage icons are just icons I use that are the same color as the backdrop they're on, so I can access my files but don't have to deal with the blue Mac file folder icons to kinda ruin the image I try to make my desktop. Custom icons are also a motivation for me to keep my desktop clean, especially with a lot of screenshots from my online classes. Anyway, the entire photo is not in proportion because, first of all, I'm not good at that, and most of my scaling is usually for icon use in the future. For the stage door font later on, I tried looking for a more vintage-looking font because it was set in the late 40s or early 50s. I was debating with myself for a long time if I should add the stairs leading to the top door. After a while, I decided to add it in to have more space for icons that I had no idea what to make. I had absolutely no clue what the icons were gonna be. I just thought that I'll make the background first and I'll somehow get the ideas while making it. I tried copying the different doors, vents, and windows for the theater, while also trying to make space for the icons later on. Compared to my other wallpapers, this was a lot simpler. I didn't really have to make much complex shapes. The most I had to do were the rounded tops on the windows and doors. The industrial feel also helps with the more sharp angles. When I was finishing up the backdrop, I was about to close the file when I remembered that I had a calendar to make. The whole while I had that feeling you get when you know you forgot something but don't know what. The red and yellow color scheme is based on the album cover for Kiss Me Kate 2019 revival, where the name of the show is on big red block letters with lights on it. I made the red sign but transferred the color of the lights to the month numbers instead, so I would notice them more. When it came to the icons, I color-coded them after my subjects. I wanted them to blend into the backdrop like they usually do, so all of them together make a complete picture. My first idea was to make a gray vent because there were so many vents in the reference photo. Orange is gonna be a pulley or a hook on the right side of the stage. I have no idea why it might be orange, but oh well. Red is a flower pot on the windowsill on the left. Purple is a little purple bird resting on the gate. Blue is a small crate, and green is gonna be graffiti on the wall, which is an unused idea left over from not using it in my waitress wallpaper. Now, how did I find out about this kinda obscure musical? So Kiss Me Kate is one of my more recent musical discoveries in November of last year. That's 2019. It might not seem recent to you, but it's recent to me. I remember I was in a library trying to annotate a 30-page reading for psychology when a beanbag was vacant. I sat in the beanbag and I put on a musical because I found out if I listen to songs that get stuck in my head, the information gets stuck along with it. I just got the musical because I was new at the time and it had Kelly O'Hara in it, and my first exposure to her was in the King and I recording, then Brigadoon. I liked her voice and I wanted more exposure with classical musicals but didn't want to watch Phantom. In terms of the musical, I really like the songs. It's composed by Cole Porter, who is the same person who made the songs for Anything Goes, which is my January wallpaper and has my all-time dream role, Reno Sweeney. I like the more upbeat songs like We Open in Venice and Tom, Dick, or Harry. Both of them are insanely catchy. We Open in Venice is just fun to sing because it's so bouncy and repetitive. The show also has really good visuals for you to figure out what places they're singing about because they seem kinda similar when you just hear them really quickly being sung. And the choreography is really easy to learn and it's great to do with friends. Tom, Dick, or Harry is a more brassy sound and it alternates between the classic medieval sounding instruments with a more big band sound of the 1940s or 50s, which the play was set in. The lyrics are witty, which is expected for Cole Porter. In terms of slower songs, I really like So in Love and I Hate Men. Kind of very conflicting sounding songs. Of course, I watched the musical for Kelly O'Hara, and that's what I would call her main song, which is So in Love. I Hate Men is more of Catherine's part, so it's different from the character that Kelly's portraying, which is Lily. The song is so whole-sounding, and I never got the skill of classical placement when it comes to singing, and she does it so perfectly. I Hate Men is just a song I find relatable in one way or another. Most notable lyrics was, "But don't forget 'tis he who'll have the fun and thee the baby." I mean, it's relatable for me as someone who's not very fond of kids. With the entire musical playing out also like a Shakespeare comedy with a lot of witty insults and misunderstandings that cause major consequences, it's playing homage to the source material really well. So I recommend giving this a listen if you have the chance. It's a nice way to introduce yourself to more classical sounding musicals without sounding too ancient. Another one would be King and I. So here's the finished wallpaper with my custom icons. I really hope you enjoyed this video and maybe you'd want to make your own wallpapers. If you have some questions about using Illustrator, you can ask me in the comments. What musical would you want to see next? If you want to see more of these from me, then just click the subscribe button and the bell to know when I post. I try to upload every week, Monday nights at 8. I guess that's all for this video. Bye guys!